So on the number line, if the number is less than 1, like 3/5 or 35%, 100% is 1, right? So this would be like 100%, and this would be 0%. So anytime I see percents, I'm going to break my number line into 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and then 1 would be 10/10. Are you with me so far? Okay. 35% would be 35 over 100. So to make this be over 100, I would multiply this by 10, and anything I do to the denominator, I would do to the numerator. So this is like 30%, and this is like 40%. Does that make sense to you? Because it's 30 over 100. Okay. If I'm looking for 35%, it's going to be in between 30 and 40%. If I was looking for 57%, this is like 50%, this is like 60%, so it would be closer to 60, 57%, like that. If it was 81%, it would be like right here, be close to 80%. Now, if they give you a fraction like 3/5, you're going to change it into tenths, and this would be 6/10, and then you're going to go to 6/10, and that's 6/10 right there. Does that make sense to you so far? Okay, now your second set of problems were over 1. So 120% and 1 2/3 were the ones that were actually over 1. And you said that you had to label your number line as 0, 1, and 2. So we know that 120% is going to go somewhere in here because it's over 100%, but it's not bigger than 2. And 1 2/3 is going to go in between 1 and 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and 10/10 is 2. But it's not actually 1/10, it's 1 1/10, 1 2/10, 1 3/10, because it's already over 1. So 1 5/10, 1 6/10, 1 7/10, 1 8/10, 1 like that. Does that make sense? So just to make it bigger, it would be a number line that looked like this. Here's 0, here's 1, here's 2, and then I would do my lines. So it would be 1 1/10, 1 2/10, 1 3/10, like this. Make sense? All right, so to find out what 1 2/3 is, I would have to find out what 2/3 is as a fraction. That would be something I could put on my number line. So I'm actually going to change it to a decimal. To change my 2/3 to a decimal, I'm going to put my denominator here, and I'm going to put my numerator here. And then I'm going to divide. 3 goes into 2 how many times? It doesn't. So I'm going to put my decimal here and add a 0. 3 goes into 20 how many times? 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. I'm going to keep adding zeros till I clear out the decimal. 3 goes into 20 how many times? 6. And I'm going to keep going. Oh, look, it's a repeating number. So it's 0.66. But it's not 0.66, it's 1.66 because it's 1 2/3. We know 0.66 is 66 over 100. So on my number line, if this is 1 and this is 2, I'm just making it bigger so you could see it easily. This is 1 1/10. This is 1 2/10. This is 1 3/10, 1 4/10, 1 and 5 tenths, 1 and 6 tenths, 1 and 7 tenths, 1 and 8 tenths, 1 and 9 tenths, and then this is 1 and 10 tenths. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So now I know this is 1.66 with a line over it, which really means like 1.67 if we rounded it. So 67 over 100 is right about here, right? Because this is 60 over 100 and this is 70 over 100. So this is 1 and 2/3. It's in between 1 and 6 tenths and 1 and 7 tenths, but it's closer to 1 and 7 tenths because this is 67.
Okay.
And then
that makes sense.
Then the last one is 120%. So what this means is 100% plus 20%. So 100% is here, right? The number 1 is 100.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to go to 2 tenths, 1 and 2 tenths, because I know that this is really 20 over 100, and that's what this is, 20 over 100. So this is 120%. It means 100%, which is 1 whole, plus 2 tenths, or 20 over 100.
Okay.
If it was 140%, then you would do, it would be 1 whole, which is 100%,
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes more sense now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I just recorded this, so you